The film begins by showing a couple named Taylor and Margot who want to go to an exclusive restaurant in the middle of the island which requires them to use a boat first to get there. Not only them but other people went there, starting from food critics. There were also several entrepreneurs and a film actor. Here we know that Tyler is a foodie, so he always talks and compliments about food, and that makes Margot, who is an ordinary person, quite uncomfortable. When they got there they were greeted by an assistant chef named Elsa when they wanted to enter. There was a mistake. Because apparently Taylor should have brought his girlfriend named Nita, but because they had broken up, Taylor immediately got a new woman, namely Margot, and fortunately they were allowed into the restaurant. They saw someone looking for mussels for their dinner tonight, and the restaurant produces its ingredients from vegetables to smoked meats. Elsa also showed the beds for the chef's helpers, which were very neat and clean. On the road, Tyler was eager to enter the chef's house, but Elsa did not allow him to. There they are allowed to see the process of making food by the chefs closely. And here he is, the chef immediately served an appetizer called amuse boxing. These entrepreneurs are very happy with their food, especially Taylor, who adores this appetizer. The chef also tries and tastes the food made by the chef before serving it. Before serving the first meal, the chef also advised the form of you not only eating but also feeling the various flavors that enter your mouth for the first dish called island. Food that looks like an island filled with food ingredients that come from the sea, including the clams earlier. The chef's words are so cool. Taylor was crying, but Margot felt it was normal. We know that a critic is someone who is never satisfied and who looks for faults in the food. These businessmen say that their helpers can make food tastier than this. There is also a grandpa and grandma couple who are loyal customers in the restaurant. The chef gave another speech, this time about bread that anyone can eat because it's easy enough to find it. So tonight the chef is serving a food called bread without bread, and they only serve the bread sauce. Even so, the critic still sees an error in the sauce, which according to him isn't runny enough. Margot, confused, is this a joke? But not with Taylor, who said that this is a good concept because it was made by the chef. Heard the critics raving, so brought him a new, bigger sauce. The businessmen also begged Elsa to give them a piece of bread to eat. Seeing that Margot didn't eat the food he served, Margot said that the sauce couldn't be eaten. That night grandfather kept looking at Margot and his wife, thinking that Margot was their child. The next dish is called memory, aka memory. And the chef tells about himself. When he was little, his father always tortured his mother, but the chef, who was still a child, stabbed his father's leg so he would stop. When they wanted to eat, they were all surprised because the tortilla contained photos of their disgrace, including all of them. Taylor, the chef, and all the employees of this restaurant know what their customers have, including their jobs, and they also know that Paul and his friends work in an illegal company. The wife discovers that Grandpa took a photo with another woman on the tortilla. Because Tyler is fed up with always testing the chef. Margot also plans to go out, but he is not allowed to and can only go to the bathroom. While smoking, he was visited by the chef, and without further ado, the chef immediately asked why Margot didn't eat the dish he made, and Margot answered that he didn't like it. The chef also asked who Margot was, and Margot, who didn't know anything, immediately said that she's just a woman named Margot. Go to the next dish, but before that, the chef shows a trusted deputy chef named Jeremy who will serve the next dish. The menu is called Themes or Chaos. Jeremy is a chef who has talent and is very creative, but the chef said no matter how much effort he put in, Jeremy could not replace the chef because the chef was extraordinary. Suddenly Jeremy shot himself in the face and caused everyone to panic, but the chef said this was part of the menu. Furthermore, the dish contains various kinds of meat which are very luxurious, and they are told to eat this food. Margot is very surprised to see the scene earlier, but Taylor can eat casually. One out. So Elsa asked for the grandfather's hand, and suddenly they cut off the grandfather's finger, and everyone panicked, including Taylor and also the critic's mother. After that, Margot was called by the chef, and the chef said that Margot was a menu destroyer because actually, it wasn't Margot who they invited here but women. Chef says that we will all die tonight, and he gives Margot the choice to choose to die with them or die with the customers. Actors and entrepreneurs trying to find a way out of this restaurant, and suddenly This time the chef served aromatic tea. Earlier they asked actually what is going on here, and the chef said that this is all part of the menu. It turns out the restaurant that was in the tortilla earlier was the restaurant where the chef worked before, which was closed due to the actions of the rat mother. Chef also asked Grandpa what food Grandpa ate the last time while at this restaurant, but Grandpa couldn't remember it, so the chef became very disappointed. Soren says that this is not a chef's restaurant, so the chef can't go anywhere there. However, it turns out that the chef has taken the owner or investor of this restaurant hostage and will kill him tonight. Margot was called again by the chef, and now Margot admits that he shouldn't come to this restaurant and this is just a mistake. Margot also asks if the chef is happy with his job, and the chef answers if yes, it's been a long time since he felt pleasure in this job. The next scene is outside the room, and before that the chef introduces another assistant chef named Catherine. Catherine explained that in the past the chef had tried to rape her, but she managed to fight back, and because of that Catherine will take revenge. Catherine immediately stabbed the chef, and then Catherine kissed the chef. The puncture was not to kill the chef. It also includes menus. Furthermore, the chef allows the men to leave the restaurant for 1 minute until the chefs get to them. Meanwhile, the women are welcome to re-enter the restaurant. Catherine served a frothy meal. Mother critics praised the food. Grandpa's wife knew that it was Margot who was in the tortilla picture with Grandpa earlier. The critic's mother had offered to negotiate so that he would not die. But it turned out that it was Catherine who had devised a plan to kill everyone tonight. Although nobody can escape the place, and they are brought back into the restaurant. After that, the chef came to Tyler, and it was true that Tyler had known the chef before, and Taylor should have brought another woman here instead of Margot. Margot, who heard the conversation, was furious. At first, I thought the chef would be angry. But in fact, the chef gave Taylor a chef's shirt and told Taylor to cook right then and there. It turns out that this Taylor is not good at cooking, and so far he can only eat and comment on the food. This is Taylor's side dish of undercooked meat, and because the food wasn't good, the chef whispered something to him. The chef calls Margot again, and now the chef orders Margot to take a big pot in the smokehouse because Margot is now considered by the chef to be part of them. When he wanted to talk, the actor criticized the chef, and the chef said he had watched a film he was starring in by the actor, and the film was terrible. Out of curiosity, Margot went to the chef's house looking for something like a communication device, but instead, she found the chef's childhood room, and there was also a strange door. Elsa also came there and planned to kill Margot because Elsa did not want to be replaced by Margot. A fight ensued, and finally, Margot managed to kill Elsa. After that, she opened the door and found a newspaper containing criticisms of the critic's mother about chefs, and also found that chefs used to enjoy making cheeseburgers. Luckily, Margot found a communication device and sent a distress signal. Margot returned to the restaurant. Upon arrival there, the chef was surprised because a boat had arrived and it was Margot's doing. Gave a hint that they were in danger, and suddenly the officer pointed a gun, which made people very surprised, but the gun turned out to be just a toy gun that could shoot fire to light a candle. It turned out that the police were also members of the chef. They could only surrender, and Margot, the chef, was disappointed in him, but suddenly Margot openly said that he didn't like the food the chef had made. The chef also asked why Margot didn't like the food he made, and he replied that the food the chef made was bland and not made with love, and Margot didn't even feel full at all after eating the chef's food. The chef is also willing to cook any food for Margot so he can be satisfied, and Margot only asks for a cheeseburger without any fancy food frills, just a cheeseburger. The chef cooked the cheeseburger, and finally, the chef felt the pleasure of cooking again, which had been lost from his memory. Margot was finally satisfied with the burger, and he asked that the burger be wrapped too. The chef let Margot leave the restaurant because he had managed to wake him up. The last dish had not been served, so the chef was forced to serve it in their form. All of which are decorated with various kinds of sweet foods such as chocolate and marshmallows, and the chef gives the name of this food the more. The chef lit a fire and burned himself along with the restaurant and the people in it. At the end of the film, Margot managed to survive while sitting and eating a burger. The movie ends. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Make to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more movie like this. Thank for watching.